Azfar Anwar's misrepresentation of the concept of Tajassus and Hisbah in Islam. When I was in when I was in Mecca, a friend of mine sent me a video by this brother by the name of Azfar Anwar on Instagram, if I'm not mistaken. And now he has actually uploaded another video on YouTube and also on his TikTok, criticizing the gay spa rate in Malaysia. Okay. Now, there are points of agreement, interestingly, especially when he criticized the breach of SOPs, the alleged breach of SOPs, and also the alleged shaming that took place. We can agree on that. If that really took place, then I agree. That is considered kind of zulum yang unnecessary. Dan kalau ada breach of procedure, breach of SOP, it must be corrected. Police report should be made if it's true, there were abuses, shaming, public shaming, yang di luar bidang kuasa mereka, okay? Di luar bidang yang sepatutnya mereka buat, di luar prosedur yang telah ditetapkan, itu adalah benda yang haram. Kalau benar ia berlaku, laporan polis harus dibuat. But the problem is this. He extended his argument to make a blanket statement as if all kinds of raiding is un-Islamic. Okay? Semua bentuk raiding itu seolah un-Islamic. And he labeled it as tajassus. If you were to go to such places, and you were to raid such places, even if you comply with the SOPs, he claimed it to be un-Islamic. It is against Islamic law. And his main evidence is, the verse in the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ijtanibu kathiran min adh-dhann, inna ba'da adh-dhanni ithm. Wala tajassasu, wala yaghtab ba'dukum ba'da, ayuhibbu ahadukum an ya'kula lahma akhihi maytan fakarihtumuh. Ila akhir al-ayah. He used this verse, or he misapplied this verse, by saying that such raids are nothing but tajassus that has been declared haram by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran. So the Quran forbids tajassus, this is correct, spying, but Muslim jurists, such as Al-Ghazali, shows that privacy is not absolute. Okay, privacy is not absolute. I quoted here a statement by Imam Al-Ghazali when he discusses on the issue of Hisbah, policing. Okay, I quoted the Arabic also for those who wants to check. So this is the translation. Let me read to you the translation. If you ask, what is the boundary between what is manifest and what is concealed? Apa dia punya sempadan dia tu? Nak mengatakan sebuah maksiat itu dizahirkan ataupun disembunyikan. Then know that whoever closes the door of his house and conceals himself behind its walls, it is not permissible to enter upon him without his permission, in order to know of a sin. Except when the sin becomes manifest within the house in such a way that it is known by those outside the house. Okay? For example, when the sounds of musical instruments and strings become loud, such that they go beyond the walls of the house, whoever hears that is permitted to enter the house and destroy the instruments of diversion. Imam Ghazali has a strong opinion on musical instruments. I mean, this is the fiqhi position, this is the Shafi'i position, right? Musical instrument, lute dan sebagainya tak boleh. So Imam Ghazali kata, if you hear someone playing these musical instruments, you as a private person, bukan government pun, bukan authority pun. This is explained by Murtada Zabidi dalam Tafsiratul Muttaqin. You sebagai orang persendirian, you boleh pergi dan pecahkan. Likewise, if the voices of drunkards rise with the familiar words they use among themselves, such that the people of the streets can hear them, this is a manifestation that obligates Hisbah. Maksudnya Hisbah menjadi wajib, policing menjadi wajib. Dalam rumah, dia tutup pintu, tapi dia minum, lepas tu dia duduk bising-bising, kita dengar ni suara orang mabuk ni. Ni pergaduhan orang mabuk ni, dia tengah minum arak. This is a manifestation that obligates Hisbah. Thus, when sound or smell is perceived through the walls, such as when the smell of wine spreads, if it is possible that this comes from wine that is legally respected, then it is not permissible to intentionally pour it out. That means kalau you bau macam bau alkohol. Tapi rupanya alkohol tu untuk perubatan. Maka you tak boleh lah pecahkan. Okay? Ini dipanggil sebagai khamar al-muhtaramah. Okay? That it is not permissible to intentionally pour it out. But if based on contextual indicators, so ada petanda, it is known that the smell has arisen from their consumption of wine, then this is a strong possibility, and what appears correct is the permissibility of Hisbah. So dalam keadaan ini, Imam Al-Ghazali cenderung mengatakan bahawa dalam keadaan ini pun boleh buat policing. Maksud dia boleh masuk. Wine may be concealed in a sleeve or beneath a garment. And so too musical instruments. Ada orang dia sembunyikan arak dia dalam dia punya baju atau dia punya alat muzik dia. If a person sees a known sinner with something under his garment, it is not permissible to uncover it unless a specific sign becomes apparent. Kecuali ada tanda lah. You tak boleh every time nampak dia je you check, so dia buka. Tak boleh. For his sinfulness does not prove that what he carries is wine, since a sinner also needs vinegar and other lawful things. It is not permissible to infer from concealment that the item is unlawful, or to argue that had it been lawful, he would not have concealed it, because the motives for concealment are many. However, if the smell is strong and evidence, this becomes a matter for consideration. And what appears correct is that intervention is permitted, because this sign produces predominant probability, zon. And predominant probability in matters like this is treated like ilm, like certainty. Likewise, a lute ni gitar zaman tu, may be recognized by its shape if its covering is thin. Thus, indication by shape is like indication by smell and sound. Whatever its indication has appeared is no longer concealed, whatever its indication has appeared is no longer concealed, but exposed. Okay? We have been commanded to conceal what Allah has concealed, and to object against those who expose themselves openly to us. You see, I don't have to respond too long to Azfar. I let Imam Ghazali respond to you. Exposure has degrees. Sometimes it appears through hearing, sometimes through smell, sometimes through sight, and sometimes through touch. This is not restricted to sight alone. Rather, what is intended is the acquisition of knowledge, and these senses all produce knowledge. Therefore, it is permissible to destroy what is under a garment when it is known to be wine. And one may not say, show me what is it, for that will be tajassus. That means you must know it is wine without asking the person, show me, reveal. Because the moment you command him to reveal what is hidden under his garment, then that is considered tajassus. There must be an indicator first that gives you certainty that there's wine. Baru you boleh stop dia. Okay? So the meaning of tajassus is seeking out signs in order to obtain knowledge. See, tajassus is seeking out signs in order to obtain knowledge. As for when the sign of knowledge has already occurred and has produced knowledge, acting upon it is permitted. You see, so Imam Ghazali kata apa tadi? Zon mengambil taraf ilmu dalam hal-hal seperti ini. Maka apa? Bila dah ada ilmu itu, dia dah dikira bukan tajassus. So if you act upon that knowledge, that is not tajassus. But seeking out signs in order to obtain knowledge, there is absolutely no concession for that at all. So if you seek out signs in order to obtain knowledge, this is tajassus. Ini tidak dihalalkan. Ihya Ulumuddin bab al-amru bil ma'ruf wa nahyi 'anil munkar. Imam Ghazali cerita pasal policing, pasal hisbah. Okay. So meaning, the conclusion of this quote, you can't break into hidden private life unless the wrongdoing becomes outwardly known. One of the clearest indicators is when people go to the Google review, right, of this jinn, of this spa. The reviewers speak about their experience bluntly. Right? Anyone who reads the reviews, they know, okay, they are actually doing illicit activities there. So it's not hidden anymore. It has become publicized. After all, it is a commercial venue, isn't it? Anyone can join as a member. So it's wrong to say it's a private thing, it's closed door, as if whenever it's closed door, then no one can do anything about it. Then what about the drug dens and the human traffickers, right, who does everything behind closed doors? He needs to be consistent because he claims to have been trained in Islamic law. He repeated that a few times. He was trained in Islamic law in Egypt, in Syria. I mean, this does not show that the person was really trained in Islamic law. It's just a sloppy, quotation of the Quran and the Azfar, right? Now, this is not how you do fiqh. Give me fuqaha. What did the fuqaha say? Do some textual analysis. That's how a legally trained scholar or ustaz will do his homework, will present his case. So public indicators are not tajassus. So when people themselves make matters visible, like signs, patterns, open promotion, reviews of the said jinn that clearly pointed to illicit activities, the case shifts from private to manifest. Here I would like to share a screenshot from Professor Rafidah Hani Mokhtar, statement which to me is very important. I summarize her position. Is public health realities and exploitation dynamics make this a societal protection issue, not just private morality. Because she connected this with the rising HIV cases. She screenshot a news portal, posting, which stated as 1 in 3 new HIV infections in 2024 was acquired through heterosexual contact. 1 in 3, as if they're trying to paint heterosexual sex is one of the biggest cause, or maybe the main cause of spread of HIV. So Professor Abdahaniam refuted this by saying, the rights of everybody is to know exact data and risk of transmission. Everyone must be protected. Actual data show that 62% of new HIV cases is due to homosexuals and bisexuals. This is actual data by someone in the field, Professor Dr. Abdahani Mukhtar. Actual data show that 62% of new HIV cases is due to homosexuals and bisexuals. So the headline should be 2 in 3 new HIV infections in 2024 was acquired through anal sex in homosexual and bisexual contact. I agree with her. This should be the title. Dear media, give the right facts. Homosexuals and bisexuals are minority group in terms of numbers. But when they constitute 2/3 of cases, it means the risk is super high. Minority, tapi penyumbang 2/3 kepada kes HIV. This should be the highlight, isn't it? I mean, who's behind this news piece? Yang dia pergi fokus kepada heterosexual sex yang menyumbang kepada 1 in 3. Majority heterosexual, right? So it just makes sense. But the problem is, minority menyumbang kepada 2/3 of the case. This should be the news. This is the kind of message every youth should be informed. Don't hide the fact on the pretext of avoiding stigma, because facts are facts. Yes.
A quick one is that this, the way this headline is written, it reminds me of, the media outlets coaching the Palestine issue and running cover for Israel.
Yes.
If you could just quickly comment, what is the duty of the media to basically portray the situation accurately, or if they coach the headline while not neglecting the facts but just coaching the headline, how is that viewed in Islam?
I mean, that's considered as fitnah. That's a lie.
But they've not lied. They've just manipulated the headline.
No, that is framing. It's a dishonest framing, right? For example, you claim that this woman was beaten by his husband, was punched, while not telling she hired an assassin, right, to kill her husband. While not telling that part, if you were to include that story, then most men will sympathize with the man. She tried to kill him, and she got so angry, he punched her. Yes. Is it wrong? Is it right? To punch if someone wants to kill you, hired an assassin, right? In the law, I'm not sure. In the secular legal law, civil law, you can't, right? Tapi people can sympathize. This is the problem with the media framing when it comes to Palestine and Israel. October 7, October 7, October 7. This tired nonsense that they keep playing. So this is the same thing, right? Instead of focusing on the 2/3, the minority contributing 2/3 to the case, they focus on, heterosexual sex contributed to 1/3 of HIV cases. This is dishonest. I will call it dishonesty. Framing. What do you call dishonest framing? I don't have the word for it. I'm not sure. Tapi dia satu penipuan dengan tidak menceritakan the whole story, right? Omitting. You're omitting. They call this lie by omission, is it? Can we say it? It's a lie. It's a form of a lie by omission. Sorry, thanks. So most organized crimes are planned and done behind closed doors. So by Azfar's logic, raids should not be done on this dance too. Okay. So therefore, it is not true that raids are always un-Islamic. So what Muslims should argue for instead? This is my proposal. Enforcement must be evidence-based and proportionate. This one we agree. No physical, no psychological abuse should take place. We agree. Focus on real harm and prevention. This is what the government should focus on. Prevention. So when we speak about HIV case, it has already become public health issue. Ini dah jadi masalah kesihatan umum. Orang awam berhak, kerajaan berhak untuk masuk campur. So these people have no right to say, this is private matter. No, for God's sake, this is not private matter. You are spreading your diseases around by doing it. Dia kata dia sauna je, tapi boleh ada private room pula. Buat apa dalam private room tu? Massage ke apa? Come on lah, people are not fools, right? So Azfar's position has nothing to do with fiqh or Islamic law. That's not fiqh at all, you see. At least argue like a legal scholar lah. Bring forth your arguments properly. But I know because you can't. You can't quote any proper Muslim jurist who will agree with you. I challenge you. Quote one accepted mu'tabar jurist, Islamic jurist, Muslim jurist, who hold on to your position, to your opinion. that all kinds of raids is un-Islamic. As long as the door is closed, then no government has the right to break the door. Bring me position of jurist that supports your position. And then bringing hudud's high bar of evidence is irrelevant and a red herring, as the raid's objective is not hudud punishment. So he brought in the issue about the high bar, high bar of evidence, normalization of haram same-sex acts. He himself, including kissing another man on the mouth on his Instagram, cast serious doubt on the sincerity and credibility of his criticism. Let me repeat that again. Azfar's public normalization of haram same-sex acts, including kissing another man on the mouth on his Instagram, cast serious doubt on the sincerity and credibility of his criticism. So, I know this guy. I've met him a couple of times. He came from my same madrasa. He went to Egypt, and then after that he went to Oxford University. I mean, Asatiza, Singaporean Asatiza especially, you need to respond to this. You cannot be silent. This is a responsibility. You have to do your amar ma'ruf nahi munkar. See, we don't have Hisbah, of course, but it does not absolve you of your responsibility. Asatizas in Singapore, come on, please. Many of you are just focusing on your podcast, chilling, dakwah santai all the time. Who's going to do this? When people like me come forward, criticize it, and then you say, oh, no, those extreme, radical, and so on and so forth.
Compassionate imams.
You guys are trying to be compassionate imams? Right? Come on, say something about this. Someone is trying to open a door to something else. You see, soon he's going to make tafsir on the story of Lut. He has promised that in his comment section. I've read it. You see, so Asatiza, come on, don't leave this to me. Yeah, I know some of you will say, oh, we are doing this behind closed door. You also behind closed door every time. Who will correct this wrongs in the public? He has made his position public. He's actively doing videos now. So my call to the Asatizas in Singapore, please step forward. If not, Allah will ask you. If you do not stop this munkar, I don't have to tell you. Read all the verses of the Quran and the hadith with regards to not saying anything when you say munkar and hiding behind closed doors all the time. Do you think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts, just advising behind closed doors? Who is going to correct the confusion that has already spread among the public? You may say, okay, the followers are very small in number. No. What are you waiting for? You nak tunggu sampai 10,000 follower, 20,000 follower, 100,000 follower baru you nak respond. It's okay. Let me be the bad guy. But I ask you to join me to be the bad guy. But inshallah, being the bad guy in these people's eyes will be the opposite in Allah's eyes. Inshallah. We pray that. Inshallah. Amin ya Rabbal Alamin.